everyone doing today? This is Church Girl, part 2 of my cranberry beans. Part 2 of my cranberry beans. Getting ready to wash them and put them in my freezer bag. These are my cranberry beans that I finished shelling yesterday. And I may have 1 or 2 more through here that I have to open up. Getting ready to wash them, get them labeled and get them in the freezer. Hope everyone is having a good day today. Those are cranberry beans. Those of you that don't know what cranberry beans look like, remember I think I showed you already, but I'll show you again. These are what cranberry beans look like, okay? They're very fresh. If you haven't tried cranberry beans, this is Church Girl, Cooking with the Church Girl on YouTube. Hope everyone is blessed, having a good day. This is what cranberry beans look like. And they also can look like this. If they're not all cranberry in color, they may have the little stripes on them, like so. Cranberry beans, very good for you. And cook them the same way you would your pinto beans or your green beans, not green beans, your peas, your black-eyed peas, your purple hull peas, pinto beans, red beans if they're dried. Cook them all the same way. And your smoke, whatever smoked meat you like. I use turkey, I use smoked turkey, and sometimes I use smoked neck bone. Or if you have a nice ham bone, it's very, very good in beans. Fresh cranberry beans. The Church Girl is getting prepared, so when wintertime comes, I'll have a lot of fresh veggies to eat. I love to eat fresh, and I could compare you guys, everyone, to eat as fresh as possible. Try to eat healthy as you possibly can, okay? Anyway, I'm going to wash these beans up. They're very easy to open up. I have a few more that was buried underneath the pan. And just open up just like this. Very, very quick. Very, very easy. Doesn't take much time at all. You should be able to find them at your local farmer's market or any farm, especially if you're in the country area. Trying to get this camera to stay right here. Especially if you're in the country area, a lot of times you can have nice farmers, find lots of farmers markets. And they usually sell lots of fresh vegetables and fresh beans and peas. So just ask for cranberry beans. If you haven't tried them, I really encourage you to try them. If you like butter beans, if you like speckled butter beans or lima beans, pinto beans, pretty much any kind of bean, I'm pretty sure you'll love cranberry beans. These are my absolute favorite. These are my absolute favorite. Church Girl love to put up fresh vegetables. Okay? Turn my music down here. These are my favorite. So give them a try. Don't get you some smoked meat. Whatever smoked meat you like. As I said, I tend to use smoked turkey or smoked neck bone. And sometimes I'll cut up me a little bacon. That's the flavor that I'm looking for. But I don't use much pork. Trying to get away from all that pork. But if that's what you like, ham hock, that's just fine. So I'm going to be washing these up. It doesn't take very long when you're dealing with beans. Peas, it take a little bit more time to wash the peas. Took me a long time the other night washing those peas. Because I'm very, very particular. And I want to make sure that every pea and every bean is nice and clean. After you finish shelling all your peas and or your beans, just bring them in the kitchen and put them over in some nice cold water. I see I have a few that was left at the bottom of the pan that I didn't see, but I'll go ahead and open those up real fast. Only take a minute. Guess I must have missed a few of them. Bring some cold water on them. Wash them really, really well. It's not hard at all. Not hard at all. Okay? Just making sure I don't have no extra ones in the bottom down here. They could be pretty dirty when you first peel them, but just wash them really, really good several times. Wash them really, really good. Really, really well. And I'm going to show you just how I do that, okay? You don't have to put no kind of salt, no kind of anything on them. Just wash them really good in cold water. You know, just have your water right straight from the faucet. It's fine. It doesn't have to be warm. Certainly don't want to wash them in hot water. And wash your fresh beans and get them labeled and put them in the freezer. So you have some fresh veggies when you get ready for some fresh peas and beans. You go straight to the freezer. Okay? Put them all in my pan here. Just gonna rinse this out because I want to be able to use this pan. Put my strainer over here to catch excess. Rinse this pan out because I'm going to use this pan to put my clean beans in, you know, before I put them in my freezer bags. So, make sure your big pan is impeccable clean so your beans can be nice and clean. And just rinse this pan out. So I have it ready. To transfer my beans in. And I'm gonna show you the first pot of beans. When I decide to cook some, I'll make sure I do a video. Show you exactly how I cook them. And they're pretty easy to cook. As I said, you put your smoked meat on, let the smoked meat cook a little while and get that nice meaty flavor in your water, the nice flavor in your water. And don't drown your beans in a lot of water. I think I mentioned that before. When you're cooking beans and peas, don't drown them in a whole lot of water, okay? Just cover your smoked meat just enough to cover it, a little bit over it, and let your meat smoke and cook. But if you're using ham hocks take a long time to kind of cook. You know, some people tell me when they use ham hocks, they have to let that ham hock cook about an hour. I don't cook with ham hocks for that reason, because they're just kind of tough to me and take a long time, you know, to cook. Since we don't eat a lot of the meat, my husband don't eat the smoked meat. He just likes to use it for seasoning. So I don't cook with smoked ham hocks. So I'm gonna wash these beans really, really good. And I use a strainer. Sometimes I use 2 strainers. Just whatever works for you when you're washing your beans and peas. The main thing is make sure they're just impeccable clean. And then right before you cook them, take them out the freezer and rinse them one more time really, really well, okay? Hope everyone is having a good day today. I'm gonna put this bag, always keep me a little garbage bag right on my counter, right next close by. So if I need to put something in the trash, I don't have to walk all the way over to the trash. So hope everyone is having a blessed day. I enjoy putting up veggies and things like that. I enjoy working outside in the garden when I feel strong enough. You know, I do have some disabilities, but on the days I feel good enough or well enough or strong enough, I enjoy outdoors. Now I can't, by doctor's order, I can't stay in the sun too long due to my medical situation. When you wear pain patches, at least for me, my doctor's orders is I can't be in the sun too long. So when I do go out, I try to make sure I don't stay out in the sun very long because of my medical situation. Anyway, I got these beans in this water here. Just gonna rinse them off the first time real quick. Take them out of this first water, because the first water can be pretty gritty and grimy. I'm not gonna try to move my camera because bring it up close because I don't have it on my tripod. Anyway, Have them in the water, like so. I just wash them really, really well. Sometimes I would use sea salt if they're really dirty, but they're really not all that dirty. It's not like I'm washing some dirty greens or something like that. We'll put a little sea salt on those. I have another strainer here. Whichever strainer works for you, I have several strainers. I have a round strainer, which I'm not going to use, but you can also use whatever works for you. Go ahead and use it. Just show you here. I have lots of strainers. This is another strainer you can use. Transfer your beans from the water to here or here. And then put them back again and wash them several times. And then let them strain. All the water, strain out as much as possible. Then all you got to do is put them in your freezer bags. And you got you some fresh veggies. Fresh beans, fresh peas, fresh greens. Put that back. Whatever it is that you're, put it in your freezer. Get my 2 strainers here. And I have different sizes, so whatever works, I just grab whatever works. I just grab them. So make sure if you haven't invested in some nice utensils in the kitchen, you can go to Walmart. You don't have to pay a whole lot of money, for nice, decent, utensils. And just take your time. If you don't have everything you need, just buy one piece at a time if you have to. But these doesn't cost much at all. I think I paid just a few dollars, maybe $9.99 or $10 for 3 of these. These come in different sizes. And I have 2 more sizes. I may as well show you the set. See, these come in 3 different sizes. And Walmart carry these, or you can go on Amazon, and they're not high at all. Okay? I think I got these from Amazon. I may have gotten them from a KitchenAid store, but however, they wasn't very expensive, but they still made very well. Okay? I had to replace these because, as I said, these are much more sturdier. This one is old and it's starting to come apart a little bit. So I try to invest. When I do invest, I try to invest in something really well that's going to hold up, so I don't have to keep buying the same thing over and over. Okay, these 2, I still use them because they're still good. They're just older. So I did replace them though with a much more sturdy set. Okay, just want you to see the different strainers that you can purchase and have it to strain your beans, your peas, your rice, whatever it is you're washing and need straining, or even when you're pouring water off of stuff. You grab the strainers, the ones with the small screen on it. Okay. This is how I do it. If I'm doing peas, if I'm washing peas, I would use this first. Peas is a little bit more, to me, a little bit more, take more time to wash those. So I will rinse them real well in my first water. Then I'll turn this water on. Could be a little time consuming because I'm a little bit particular. And this is how I do my peas. I do my peas just like this. Then I'll pour them over in my large strainer, right here. I would do that several times. But since I'm doing beans, and beans is a much larger and a little bit more easier to deal with, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. Just wash my counter down. It's going to be wet. So by these being beans, all I got to do, just like so, put them straight over in this strainer here. I don't even need to use these at this point. Not with the beans. I rub them together really lightly sometimes, just like that. Or I'll put them in the strainer. But I don't normally do this technique with the beans, but you can. This is just one more technique. Let whatever grit is grime is on there, just all that'll go straight through the strainer. This is just one technique you could do. Just put so many in your strainer. Let that water run all over those beans, like so. Take your hand and just wash them. If the first side begin to fill up too high, I just push this to the side, push my water faucet to the side. I do the same thing. Then I pour them over in the big strainer. Then it falls through, I go back in, I get it out later. Get them out later, put them over in there. And I have a string, always keep through your dishwasher, sink screen so it can catch whatever excess and it won't go down in your sink on the wrong side. I rinse them really good, wash them really good. Then I just put them in here. When you first share your beans, try not to wait too long to wash them. Last night I got tired, so I didn't finish them. This morning I didn't get up that early because I wasn't feeling that well this morning. And once I got my medication and everything, I started feeling better. So I came in the kitchen. But try to wash them soon after you finish selling them. Like if you don't wash your beans and peas, pretty quick after you finish selling them, they'll start to sprout. You have little white sprouts on them. I'm gonna try and find one and show you I know you probably know what a sprout look like. But they'll start sprouting on you, so don't leave them out too long after you finish selling them. Try to go ahead and get them washed and in the bags, okay? So you don't have a whole lot of sprouts on them. They'll start sprouting. And I've had a few that I had to pull a little sprout off of. If I find another one, I'll show you. Because I left these out. I finished them last night. But as I said, I didn't feel like completing washing them. See? See that little sprout right there? That's a sprout. See? That's because I didn't wash them last night and put them away because I just didn't, I wasn't feeling well enough. I had to rest. And that's okay. Just don't keep them out too long. So all I got to do today, I just pull that little sprout off. The bean is still good. But you can't leave them out much longer because they start sprouting. You won't be able to, to use them. You can go out there and put them in the ground and let them grow some more beans. But you don't want that to happen. You don't want to have a whole lot of sprouts on your beans. So don't leave them. That's when they're fresh. They're so fresh, they'll start to grow. They'll start sprouting on you. Good thing about this, I can just shake it around like so. That way I don't have to do a whole lot of washing like with my hand. I can just do this. Because all you want to do is make sure all the grind and dirt and grit come off that bean. And I'm going to wash them 2 more times. I don't want to hold you too long today, so I'm going to hurry this technique up. I probably should have did the first round before I even got started here. I'll show you another one. Show you one more. See that sprout right there? That's because I left them being sitting out last night because I didn't feel like working with them. And they'll start sprouting on you, and you don't want that. If you have a few like that the next morning, or if you leave them out for so many hours, you can still use this bean. Just break that sprout off. But you don't want to have to do that with too many of them. So when they're fresh and you're working with them, if you're gonna do a lot of them like I'm doing, to put in your freezer. When you get through shelling them, go in and wash them off. It doesn't take long to wash these beans. It doesn't take long at all. You can rub them lightly together like this, like so, if you doesn't have a strainer, okay? But I suggest a strainer because this makes it so much easier. And you can skip this technique and put them straight over in your big strainer because I'm gonna dump this back over in another thing of water anyway. But I just like to give that extra little bath, before I put it in my big pan here. Just like so. Get some more. And this is the first go around. So your first go around in washing them probably be the most grittiest or the most dirtiest. because you done just peeled them so you can see, you know, they're not bad, they're not dirty, you know, they're not filthy, but they do have a little dirt on them from the hull, shelling them, and you want to make sure they're clean. Like I said, if you leave them out too long, they'll sprout. That's another one with a sprout on it, so I'm going to take that sprout right off. Keep showing them to you because I really want you to get this. That's a sprout right there. That's the same thing that'll happen to your peas too if you leave them out too long. That's a sprout. I could really take this out and put it in the ground. It'll grow. It'll make some more beans. But I'm not growing any beans. If you see, while you're washing your beans or getting ready to put them away in your freezer bag, if you happen to see a bad one in there, like that, that's no good, just take it out and throw it away. You may have a few that's, you know, that you see that's probably no good, just take it right out, throw it away, keep it moving. No. And I hope you all will subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. Like and share. And I really enjoy cooking. I love to cook. It kind of gives me something to do, and it really kind of pushes me on those days when I'm not really feeling my best. Sometimes, you know, I'm just aching all over. But after I rest a little bit and kind of just push myself, I can tend to get it done. So I'm just thankful that I'm able to do this, you know. It makes me feel good when I'm in my kitchen cooking. Because I love to eat fresh and try to stay as healthy as possible. See, there's another one that's no good. If you find the one that's not no good, just throw it away. Almost got all these out of the first water. Then it'll go really fast. Rinse them off this next once or twice. And then when you're cooking your beans, this is what I want to tell you. And your peas, the same technique go for your peas, especially your peas, because you don't necessarily have to do it with the beans, but sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But with your peas, you put the smoked meat on in one pot and let it, you know, cook down. Let that smoked meat cook and season it good. with whatever seasoning you like. Find a few extra sprouts in here. Let me. What I do, I get another pot of water with no seasoning, no salt, no nothing. Before I put my beans or my peas, especially peas because they have foam on them. I would put them in a pot of water, just enough water to cover it, and let it come to a nice boil. And all that foam is gonna foam to the top when you put those peas on high and or your beans. The beans doesn't have as much foam as peas. And you take that water, you're not gonna cook them in that pot, you're just gonna, in the first pot of water, just plain water. Not your good pot with all your meat and your seasoning in it. Put it in a separate pot of water. This is a tip that I really want to share. Let those peas and or your beans come to a nice boil. As soon as you see them foam up really good, should take maybe about 10 minutes. Doesn't take long because you're not cooking them in that water. You take that hot water off the stove, get your strainer, like the strainer I just showed you, or this strainer, whatever strainer that you have that will hold your peas and beans. Take them off the stove right away. Soon as you see them boiling up, you'll see all the foam coming to the top. Instead of trying to get a big spoon, like I did, some of my mother them doing in the old days, just try to skim some of that foam off the top of your peas because they will foam up on you. I learned to just put mine in some water, plain water, cover it, let it come to a boil. As soon as I see it boil all the way up, so it don't boil over on the stove, because it will spill out, the foam. The foam will get really high. It'll separate itself from the water, from your good beans and peas, and the foam will just slowly come to the top, right? Grab that pot, pour all that water off in a strainer, all the peas and everything over in a strainer, and real quickly rain some more cold water or warm water, just real quickly over those beans or peas so you can rinse off the excess foam. And then take those peas or beans and put them over in your good pot with your meat and your seasoning that you should already have going on the stove, right? Then you take them and put them in that pot and let them cook. Let them come to a nice boil. After they come to a nice boil, I tend to turn mine down. And I don't want to rush cook. You know, I already told you I don't like to rush cooking nothing. So I turn them down on medium high. And then sometimes I'll turn them down even lower than that. And let them take their time and cook until they're nice and tender. And you don't want the beans all mushy. As I said, you don't want to float them in a lot of water. But after I strain off that first pot of water, plain water, as I said, I'm reiterating it now. That first pot of plain water, when I see them beans foaming up, or peas, because peas is really foam up on you. Pour that water off and pour all the peas and beans into a strainer. And quickly turn some faucet on and just rinse it really quick. Doesn't take long. Just to get off the excess foam. You don't want to leave the white foam all over your peas and beans after you took your time to go through that technique. Then put them over in your nice pot with all your seasoning meat. Let them cook. If they're fresh, like these are fresh, it doesn't take that long to cook at all. Normally I would let mine cook about 35 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. And if I turn them real low, and I wash them because I don't want them mushy, well, I will say an hour, but I don't normally let my fresh beans cook an hour. It doesn't take that long. But if they're dry beans could take up to an hour. Or longer sometimes, depending on how dry they are. But if you soak the dry beans for 45 minutes, sometimes people soak them all night. I don't think it's necessary to soak beans all night. To me, I just don't think that's necessary, but everybody cook different, so you want to soak your beans all night or for hours and hours, that's perfectly fine. It just probably means you have a little, softer bean, but to me it doesn't make a difference because it's probably going to take the same length of time to cook. But it shouldn't take quite as long. Let them soften up a little bit. Soak them. But I don't tend to soak mine that long. Sometimes I make, if I'm cooking dry beans, and I rarely cook dry because I usually have enough fresh vegetables. But sometimes I'll run out of my cranberry beans. I love cranberry beans, so I run out of them first. Usually every winter and spring, I tend to get really low on my cranberry beans. Sometimes I end up giving some away. So I tend to run out of these pretty quick sometimes. Well, not really quick, but before the before the next season is in. Okay. That's my first go round. What took the longest? Because that's the first go round tend to take the longest because the beans and peas tend to have a little more grit and grind on them. So that'll take a little time, you know, to get that. Make sure you get all that off in the first washing. Now I'm gonna rinse this sink out. And those that follow me, you know I always be wiping as I go. Try not to wipe too much. But I'm making sure I'm just making sure I rinse my sink and get whatever excess little grind and grit that may be in the sink. You don't want none of that in the sink. After each washing, you want that sink, want your sink impeccable clean. Because you do not want to pick up no extra grit and no extra, you know, dirt and grime and leaves or whatever may be on those beans. See, you want to make sure you get all of that out of there. So I keep me a little strainer. And my sink will catch all that little excess. Not a lot, but I want to make sure this sink is nice and clean on each round. Now I'm going to put these back in here really fast and try to move real quick because I don't want the video too long. Take this out, put it in my little garbage bag that I keep on the counter. Now make sure this is nice and clean each time. I wash my sink out really good. Nice warm water. Just plain warm water because all I'm doing is rinsing the sink out. So I can wash my beans again. This time, you'll see how much quicker it is the second go round. I tend to wash my beans 3 times before I put them in the freezer. But if these are not really that dirt, I really can wash them twice and it'll be just as clean. And before I cook them, I'm going to rinse them again anyway. I keep a little towel wrapped around my faucet because it seems like it gets so wet around my top of my faucet. I don't like that. So I always keep a little dry towel wrapped around my faucet here. Catch all the excess water that I sometimes get up there. Okay, rinsing out the other sink just a little bit. I'm not putting in the beans over there, so. Okay, and take this out, and then you want to make sure you close the sink up, because you got to catch the water. Put my little strainer there. And I'm going to take these beans, keep saying peas, but they're cranberry beans. I still have my black-eyed peas to work with after I finish this. I already finished my purple hull peas. I'm going to take my cranberry beans, dump them back over in the sink. Just like that. And what little fruit that fell over on this side, I take them, put them over there as well. Rinse out this side real quick. Just in case anything fell through that needs to come out the sink. But I'm not putting the beans in this side anyway, but just want to make sure I keep it clean. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Catch this water. Ooh, they're so nice and pretty. Nice and pretty cranberry beans. They're getting nice and clean. Now, while this water is going through there, I'm always keeping an eye out to see if I see one that's not good. Normally, I can catch them that's not good when I'm selling them, but just in case I miss some, as I'm washing them, I keep an eye out for the bad, if they're the bad ones. Or, like I said, if I kept them out, like I kept these out over all night, and a few of them had sprouts on them, but I think I got all the sprouts out. I wasn't going to throw them away because just a few, and they were still good. So I'm keeping an eye out for any bad ones, or if I see anything with sprouts on it, I'll grab those. Okay, I don't have to use the strainer. I don't have to use this on the second time because it's not going to take me long. I got the first dirt off of them, the first grit and grind. So that's why I use this, to make sure I shake all that loose grit or whatever may be on that bean off. So the second go around, to make it much easier. Much quicker. The water is already really clear Because that first go around the water be more dirtier. Okay? Okay, this is going to be really quick. Watch this. Move my strainers out the way. Have my little music going. Thought I heard my doorbell. Maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Then I just rinse these beans off really, really well. You don't have to. Some people put salt in the water. I don't do that with beans. The beans shouldn't be that dirty. They put a little sea salt. And that's okay if you want to do that, but it's not necessary. Sometimes I will do that if I'm cooking washing my collard greens. I put a little sea salt in the water. Or regular salt. To help get that grit off of those greens. But beans, you don't have to do that. Just rinse them really nice. Not too hard, not too harsh. Because they're fresh, so you don't want to be too harsh. You can lightly rub them or just rinse them, you know, just like you see me doing. And I'm just holding them up like this so you guys can see the beans. You don't necessarily have to do that to it, but I'm just doing that so you can see the beans. Rinse them really well. That's the main thing. Not too rough because they are fresh. You don't want to be breaking up the beans. And then take them out of that water quick as you can. And when you're cooking your beans, you know, you don't want your beans to be all split. Okay. That's another one that I don't like, so I take it out. Just keeping an eye out for those that's brown, that doesn't look quite right. I take them out. Rinse them off. That's all it is to it. All I gotta do now is label my freezer bags and date my freezer bags. And I'm gonna use quart bags and take them downstairs and put in the freezer. That's all it is to it. See, that's not hard at all, right? Especially to eat fresh. Okay. And I tend to wash them again, and I might not. I might wait till cause they already really clean. These beans wasn't that dirty. But sometime I'll go ahead and put them in one more bag. Cold water bag. I want that water to be nice and clear. And when I take them out the freezer, they be frozen. I don't just throw them right in the pot frozen. I would kind of run them on the little cold water in my strainer first and get them all kind of loose. And I like to put them in the water loose, like this. I don't like to put them in the water frozen. See? There's another one. See that? That's no good. See? That's not even cranberry red or nothing. That's just brown. No good. So watch out for those. I think I found maybe 4 out of the whole 22 pounds. That wasn't bad. 4 beans that I had to throw away wasn't bad at all. So far. Sometimes I'll take a quick look like that. But you'll see them because normally if the bean is bad, it tends to float to the top. I don't know what that's all about, but that's a good thing. If that bean is bad, or rotten, or brown, or have holes in it, for some reason when you're washing them, and you stand back, it'll float to the top. But every bean that floats to the top is not bad beans. Some of them just float to the top because you're washing them. So you don't want to throw away no good beans. Make sure you look at them first. Okay, I'm almost finished with this round. And I think I'll dump it one more time. For sake of time, I may just go ahead and put them in the bag because they're really already clean. These are already squeaky clean. I really don't have to wash these no more. But I'll rinse them without putting them in this, merge them in the water. I just want water over my strainer. Okay. Another tip I would like to leave with you. Sometimes people have told me, I haven't had this problem. But I've had plenty of friends over the years. They tell me when they cook dry beans or fresh beans, beans can sometimes give you gas, put gas on your stomach. So, especially with fresh beans, if you're going to soak your beans in a little water, Put you a tablespoonful, depending on how many beans you're gonna cook. If you're cooking a small pot, just a small amount for maybe 2 people, you can use a half a teaspoon of soda and soak your beans in that soda. If you got a whole lot of beans, a big pot of beans, go ahead and put you a tablespoon and maybe a tablespoon and a half of baking soda, not baking powder, over in your water and let them soak for about 30 or 40 minutes. And it's supposed to help with you not getting gas. It'll pull out whatever it is it's supposed to pull out, I guess. To help you from getting gas. I've been told that really works. I don't tend to get gas from eating beans, but I have did that technique with some dry beans just to, because I was told to do that, just to see. But I couldn't tell any difference. But everyone that tell me, they really say it really helps. So if you have a problem with acid on your stomach, getting a gassy stomach with beans and peas, put you some soda and soak them. I'm not going to tell you put soda in your pot, but some people put a pinch of soda when they're cooking them. I don't do that. But if you happen to put that soda in your pot, you better know what you're doing, okay? Because I can't advocate. I don't want to tell you something that I haven't tried. But if you do, just make sure it's a pinch. And it shouldn't hurt if you have a gassy stomach. It's supposed to really help, they tell me. Or some people go buy them those little pills I see in the store. Oh, right, here go the nurse in me again. They buy those little pills they call Beano. I've seen them, but I never used them. But I have read the directions because I'm always reading something. And little pills called Beano is supposed to also help you not to have a gassy stomach. Okay? So those are just little tips, little things you can do to help your digestive system, especially when you're trying to eat healthy or eat fresh. Okay, there you have it. That's it. See, that didn't take long at all. Like I said, the first go round take a little bit more time, but I wanted to do it on camera instead of trying to explain it to you. It's best that I just do it and show you. But once you get through that first go round, the second go round go really quick. Okay, all my beans have been washed. I'm still gonna just let some water drain down over in these, and then I'm gonna bag them up. I could put them in another cold water bath, but these beans don't need to be washed in another whole cold water bath. They're clean already. And you know, as funny as I am, I'm gonna make sure they're clean. Now, normally what I would do, I would take my beans. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that technique so you'll know exactly how I do it. You don't have to do this. You really could just, once you wash them a good 3 times, you can take your beans straight from the strainer and put them in your freezer bag. Washing up this little water. Because you don't worry about the counter, it'll get a little wet. You can take it straight from your strainer and start putting them in your freezer bag. If not, sometimes I take them and put them in here. And I'm doing that because I give it one last little rinse, just because it's a habit. But the only reason I don't like doing this and going right straight to the freezer bag, because all the water can't drain out. If I'm but sometimes I'll do this because it's just a habit that I have. One last little quick rinse. It's not gonna hurt. They're already clean, but a little quick rinse is not gonna hurt them. If any drop in the sink, just grab them and grab them and throw them over in your pan. You don't want to lose no good beans. This is just how I do mine. The main thing is, as long as you get them clean and washed, okay? That's the main thing. One more little quick, nice little rinse before I dump them over there in the pan. Just like so. That's only if you want to do that technique. I'm doing it because I had the time. Like I said, the main thing is make sure you got them nice and clean. It go pretty quick. It doesn't take long. Okay, just like so. For those that don't know what the cranberry beans still look like, there you go. Cranberry in color. Or, like I showed you, it could be have a little stripe, but as long as they got some cranberry in color. There you go. Cranberry beans. Delicious. So, just about finished with that. Then I'm going to bag them up. And I'm going to say goodbye. Not going to bag them all up on camera. I just bag up one, maybe 1 or 2 bags. And that'll be it. Just wanted to show you all how I wash them and get them in the freezer. It's well worth it. Well worth it, and they taste so good. And I think you really appreciate it when you cook fresh, you know, and you eat fresh, and you did your own work by shelling them and washing them and putting them in the freezer and preparing them for dinner. I think you have a new appreciation for your meal. Okay? So don't forget, I told you, and I recap real quick as I get ready to bag these up, to use whatever smoked meat you like. I told you I like smoked turkey. Matter of fact, I use turkey tails because they have more flavor in those for seasoning. But you can use any smoked meat. I have used smoked turkey legs and turkey necks and smoked turkey wings. But they don't have quite enough, they have a lot of meat, but since I'm not going to be eating a lot of meat, and I'm going for flavor, I don't need one. I need one that have a, I just dumped them back in there. I didn't have to do that, but I want to make sure I drain just a little bit excess water off. Now they get ready to go in the bag. And I'm going to say, have a good day. Please be sure to support my channel at Cooking with ChurchGirl. Look under Cooking with ChurchGirl or Cooking with ChurchGirl Cummings. Like and subscribe my channel. And just like I told you all, anybody have a prayer request, just drop me a comment. You don't have to go into detail. If you feel led to go into detail, you can put it in my private inbox. But the main thing is drop me a note in my comments, letting me know you want special prayer. And I'll call your name. I'll bombard heaven for you. Like I always tell you, God is a prayer answering God. So, this is the Church Girl, and I do believe in the good meals, and I believe in the power of prayer at the same time. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is real quickly just bag up 1 or 2 bags, and then I'm gonna bid you good evening. Okay, just wiping up my counter here because I don't want it too wet. It kind of got a little wet, and that'll happen when you washing beans and peas and things. You know, don't be afraid to get your hands wet. I'm trying to get this camera how I want it here. I'm by myself, and I have a tripod, but I don't have it on the tripod. And plus, I'm still learning. I have a lot to learn. I'm still new at this, but I enjoy it. So hang in there with me, okay? Bear with me. And remember I told you I was gonna steal this other girl's her little quote that she always using. Bear with me, and I won't stir you wrong. She tickled me. Cooking with Tip. Go over there and check out Cooking with Tip. I think she's from Florida. But she cracks me up. She said, I won't stir you wrong. S-T-I-R. Stir you wrong. I kind of like that. So I'm stealing her little quote today. Bear with the church girl. Get some good recipes and some good tips and some health tips. Since I'm a retired nurse, I try to give out a little healthy tips. And the church girl won't stir you wrong. I'm taking her little quote today. Okay, I'm going to get me a freezer bag, whatever size freezer bag you want to use. I'm using quart bags because it's just 2 of us. And I'm just going to be cooking 1 quart at a time. Now you can put them in quart bag, half-gallon bags, if you got that many peas and beans, or a big, whatever size you want to use, or a pint-sized bag. But I tend to use quart. This is a nice little size, and this make a nice pot. This quart bag, it make a really nice, you can feed about good 4 people with this quart bag of beans. Because we eat off of it several times, Candy and I. I get it, get your permanent marker. And I'm going to put on here fresh cranberry beans. And then I'm going to date it. What is this? August 19. Date your beans. I should have put the date. I think it's the 15th or the 14th. But anyway, the main thing is the year and the month. So after I do that, I have me a little platter here or something to set my bag on, so I can line them up as I go. I usually go ahead and sign several bags, so I don't have to keep stopping, because once my hand get wet and I start filling up my bags, I don't want to keep stopping after each time to write. Cranberry beans. And it's 8/19. It's a permanent marker. It will not come off. It will not come off. I'm just going to sign one more. Then I'll fill these up. Cranberry beans. August 2/19. Okay, here we go. Gonna do 1 or 2, and then I'm gonna bid you good evening. I'm gonna get me a spatula. A little straw strainer, or you can use a big spoon, or your hands, whatever you want to use. But whatever you use, just make sure it's impeccable clean. You can use it if you have something, a dipper or something like that, a lentil. Or a big spoon, something that's deep. Anything that can hold some beans to put in your bag. Whichever way you want to do it, the main thing is getting them in the bag. I'm using this because this is just quick, and I can put quite a few of them in there at one time. Take the beans. Very simple. Main thing is get the beans in the bag. It's not hard at all. I just put them in the bag. I have my platter here, just in case that you heard something fall in the platter. My cookie sheet is impeccable clean. So I pick them right up and put them in the bag. Like so. Grab me some more with my strainer. In the bag they go. I have a smaller strainer, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just use this one because I'm just want to do this one and show you what they look like. How it come out. Very, very simple. And then when you're eating, like I said before, you enjoy those fresh veggies and that you cook yourself instead of everything out of the can and out of the market from the freezer. Frozen is okay, but you know, sometimes you don't know how long that stuff been on the market, even though it may have a date on it. I always say sometimes you don't know how old it is. So if I can eat fresh, that's what the church girl like to do. Then I take it, I make sure I squeeze it, whatever little air is in it, just kind of pull it a little tight, just like that, and zip it right up. Fill your beans pretty much as far as you can to the top without overfilling. If you overfill them, your Ziploc may not zip or it may come off the track. And if you're using the other Ziploc bags that doesn't have this zip on it, that you just have to pinch together like that, it may come loose. If I'm using those bags that I just have to pinch like this, they tend to stay together pretty good, but I would get some freezer tape or some tape, and then I would just go over it with a piece of tape and make sure that freezer bag is sealed, perfectly sealed. If I'm not using the one with the zip, if I'm just using the one that you just have to put together like that, they hold pretty good, but always go back, get you some freezer tape or some kind of tape that'll hold, and then tape it across, just like so. And it'll make sure it stay nice and tight for months and months and months, okay? There you have it. And I'm going to open this one back up because I think I see a purple hub pea that got in there. I don't know where that came from, but it's coming out. I was selling peas, so it might have just mixed up. See, a pea? I don't want to cook peas. I want to cook beans in this bag. Take that one pea out. And again, just make sure you have it filled up to about 1/2 inch from the top. I like to fill mine up as close as I can get it to the top, with just enough, you know, to close it off real good. See? And then I'm just going to zip it. And I'm going to hold it down as I zip it. So whatever little air that's in there, you want to take out as much air as possible. So I hold it tight right here as I go. And I go down the line, squeezing it as I go. Take a little time and do that. That way you get whatever little air is in there, it'll come out in that little last little hole there. That little last little pouch before you close it. Then I just close it tight. See? Nice and tight. There you have it. Church girl is washing and putting away cranberry beans. So when they're out of season this winter and fall, the church girl will be preparing fresh cranberry beans. And I've already did my purple hub peas. And tonight I'm going to get started on my black eyed peas, get them shelled and put away. Thank you for watching today. Please go over and hit that subscribe button at Cooking with Church Girl. Subscribe, like, share. And as I always say, comment. Nice, wholesome comments. And let's love on each other. Pray for each other. Continue to encourage each other. And I wanted to say this too. Constructive criticism is fine. I'm a big girl. I can take constructive criticism because I'm not perfect. If there's something a good technique that you have, you may want me to know about. Or if it's just something you want to just let me know about the way you do things. We learn from each other. So don't shy away. Tell me if you mean to try something a different way or try to cook something a different way. Or if you come up with a nice ingredient or technique, let Church Girl know. Drop it in the comments and let me know. And when I'm going live, you can let me know while I'm reading along and talking along with you, okay? Again, I'm chiming off. If you want to have a special prayer request, you can drop it in the comments, your name. Just say pray for me or send up a special prayer for me or your son or daughter, whomever you want me to pray for. You don't have to go into details, but if you want to share something privately, you can put it over in my private inbox. And as I always say, it will be between you, Jesus, and I will bombard heaven for you. Okay? Love you with the love of the Lord. With that, have a good evening. Peace.